Welcome to attend Alibaba Cloud ECS online training. In this chapter 1, we'll talk about the concepts of ECS. So this is the outline of chapter 1. So first we'll talk about what is ECS, and then talk about the virtualization technology used by ECS, and then we talk about the core in ECS, the Apsara system. And then we move on to the idea of regions and zones in ECS, and finally we talk about the networking between different regions and different zones. So first, let's talk about what is ECS. So what is ECS, or its full name, Elastic Compute Service in Alibaba Cloud? Well, ECS, it is a computing service with flexible processing capability. So when using ECS, it is like you rent a cloud server on Alibaba Cloud. Compared to physical servers, ECS can easily deploy and manage applications with better stability and security. And its flexibility can also help you lower overall IT cost and enable you to focus more on your key business innovations. So how will this look like? Well, it will look like the picture I shown here. So when using ECS, it is like you have a cloud server and you run your applications on this server and process user requests with this ECS. And ECS itself also have some special features, so which are listed here. So first, it provides resizable compute capability on the cloud, and ECS, it is designed to make large-scale computing easier, and it is a true virtual computing environment. So when you rent an ECS, your ECS is isolated with others on the cloud. And when using ECS, you can launch instances with a variety of operating systems. So our Alibaba Cloud ECS, we support most mainstream Linux systems and also Windows Server. And when you use ECS, you can run as many or few systems as you desire. So you can run as many ECS as possible if you have the business need that need this much ECS, or if you just need a few ECS, you can also run only a few ECS, so you can have the flexibility to adjust the number of ECS you use according to your business need. So ECS is a cloud service, and compared to other services, it is an IaaS service. So the picture shown here is a comparison from without cloud to IaaS, to PaaS, and to SaaS. And the blue ones are the parts that users need to take care of, and the gray ones are the parts that are taken care of by the service provider. And you can see from without cloud to IaaS, to PaaS, and to SaaS, the blue parts are getting lesser and lesser. And since we're only talking about ECS in this chapter, let's move to the comparison between without cloud to ECS. So this is the comparison between without cloud and ECS. And you can see if without cloud, then you have to take care of all the blue stacks here, which is from networking to storage, server, virtualization, operating system, middleware, runtime to data and application. But with cloud, with ECS, then you only need to take care of the operating system, middleware, runtime, data and application, which is shown like this. So with ECS, this saves you a lot of time and help you focus more on your business. So that's all for the what is ECS. Let's now move on to the second part. So in this part, we'll talk about the virtualization technology used by Alibaba Cloud ECS. So in Alibaba Cloud, we have data centers, and in each data center, we have server racks. And with these server racks, we use virtualization technology, including XEN and KVM, to provide virtual machine to our customer, which is the Elastic Compute Service we provide in Alibaba Cloud. Now let's move on to the core of ECS, which is the Apsara system. In Alibaba Cloud, we use Apsara, which is a cluster management system developed by Alibaba Cloud to provide cloud services. In Apsara, its virtualization technology is based on XEN, KVM, and utilize a distributed file system called Pangu to provide storage service. So the whole thing will look like this. On the bottom part is the data center, and on top of the data center is Linux cluster. And on top of the Linux cluster, we have Apsara system, which is composed by the orange modules to manage the cluster. And each of the orange modules provides different services, like cluster management service, distributed file system service, remote procedure call service, security management service, distributed coordination service, job scheduling service, resource management service, and cluster monitoring service. And on top of the Apsara system, we provide our cloud services, which for example is the ECS. Now let's move on to the regions and zones idea in ECS. Usually the region refers to the city where Alibaba Cloud provides the cloud computing service. However, in some cases, a region will cover an area, like for example the Beijing region, it covers North China area. And regions is where Alibaba Cloud ECS will launch the instances that you create. So we do suggest that you choose a region carefully, since different regions have different, latency and costs. And currently, there are 14 regions around the world in Alibaba Cloud. And for zone, it refers to, within a region, the physical data center with independent power supply and network. With zone option, users can choose to create resources in multiple zones to facilitate high availability. For example, if one zone is down, you can still have your service running on another zone. On the other hand, create resources in the same zone, which facilitates lower communication latency, since all transmission will be happening in the same data center. We also provide inexpensive low latency intranet connectivity to other availability zones in the same region. And in Alibaba Cloud, currently most regions contain between 1 to 3 availability zones. Finally, let's talk about the networking between ECS in different regions and zones. So we start with a simple case, having an ECS VM1 in Singapore region Zone A and ECS VM2 in Singapore region Zone B. In this case, since they are all in the same region, they will be communicating using private network. And then we add another resource into the picture, which is an ECS VM3 in Beijing region Zone A. In this case, VM1 and 2 can still communicate using private network, but for VM1 to VM3 or VM2 to VM3, they can only communicate using public network, since this is cross-region communication. Okay, so that's all for this chapter. Thanks for watching.